Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to Littles and Loving It. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with postpartum depression. So just really quickly, this is probably going to be a two-part video because I can only upload in like 15-minute intervals. And today we're talking about something real, girl. So 15 minutes probably ain't going to do it. Also, I have some soaps that I need to go ahead and paint, and some bath bombs that I need to unmold and wrap up because I have some deliveries to make. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to start with. Just so like when y'all see me on here doing stuff, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, let's just get into it. So, for the people who don't know me, which is probably most of y'all, I have, you can hear her now. I have a baby. She'll be a year on December 14th. So I had her, she's crawling under the table. Anyway, I had her last year, December 14th. So just starting from the very beginning, when I first found out I was pregnant, I was really adamant about having a VBAC. I just didn't want to be cut open again, and I just feel like having a vaginal birth is just a whole different kind of experience that I wanted to have. So up until about 35 weeks, up until I was about 35 weeks pregnant, I thought that I was going to be able to have a VBAC, and then some things happened with my health, and around 35 weeks, I found out that I was not going to be able to have a VBAC unless I went into labor in between 35 and 38 weeks. So, anyway, 37 weeks came. I was 37 weeks on the dot. I had a doctor's visit that morning. They sent me straight to the hospital. And then they did the C-section that night. So right from the jump, I kind of felt a little bit like a failure, but at the same time, I was just happy that she was here, that she made it here safely. And yeah, I wanted the VBAC, but I was just also happy that she was, here. So in the hospital, I felt great though. It was a different feeling than when I had Jade, I think, because there was no warning that Jade was coming early. We got to the hospital, and about 2 hours later, they said that she needed to come out. So with Hayden, I at least had 2 weeks to kind of prepare for the fact that she was probably going to come early. So I felt amazing in the hospital, like great. I was pumping and trying to breastfeed, but she was in the NICU. She stayed in the NICU for 4 days. So fast forward, I guess, about a week and a half, we were at her infant visit at her doctor's office. Say hi. See? Say hi. Fast forward about a week and a half, we were at her infant visit at her doctor's office, and she hadn't gained all the weight that she needed to gain. So her doctor asked me if I minded breastfeeding her, and then after she eats, offering her like an ounce of formula. And so I did that because I wanted her to gain all her weight back, because then they they want to send them to the children's hospital, and we don't live close to that hospital, and I didn't want her in the hospital. So I did that, and I kind of, again, was feeling like, bad. Like, why can't I just get something right, So we did that, and then she had another appointment the next week to see if she had gained all her weight. And she had, and that was good. But that day, something just was not right with me. And kind of, I had been feeling like that since we brought her home from the hospital, kind of like off and on. But it wasn't right. And I remember, that day when they weighed her and they said that it was fine. She gained her weight. I remember thinking like, I'm supposed to be excited about this, but I wasn't. I was really sad. And in the car on the way home, I just cried. Sorry, y'all. Stop it, Hayden. So anyway, in the car on the way home, I just cried. And okay, yeah. So I had to change the diaper and get her some snacks. Anyway, though, so I think the last thing I was talking about was when I found out that she wasn't gonna have to go to Children's or anything because she gained her weight, and I just still wasn't like, I didn't feel happy. And I remember at that visit, her doctor asked me how I was feeling, because they always ask that, because I guess postpartum is a real thing. And I lied, I smiled, and I'm good at that, you guys. I'm really good at smiling and acting like everything is okay. So I lied, and I told her that everything was good and that, everything was perfect. I was feeling great and all this, and I really wasn't. So anyway, in the car ride on the way home, I cried, and I think Alex was concerned, and yeah. So anyway, pretty much, she was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks at that point. Pretty much from there on, I just kind of had really up and down emotions. Some days I would feel really great, and other days I would feel just like crap. Or just like not myself. I'm usually happy and bubbly, and I'm that person who smiles at someone walking down the street just because they're there, So fast forward to, oh gosh, she might have been about 3 or 4 months. That's not right. Fast forward about maybe 2 months. See, this is a bath bomb. It's really cute. It's lavender and vanilla scented, and it's just so cute. Anyway, so fast forward to her being about 2 months maybe, and I started having issues with nursing, with having enough milk. And then there again, that's when I really started to feel like worthless, and started to think like really, really negative things about myself. Because I just felt like, okay, I wanted to have a VBAC. I wasn't able to do that. I wanted to keep her out of the NICU. She went to the NICU. Now, I want to nurse her. It's the very least I can do is nurse her, right? And I'm having difficulty with it. So I started feeling really, really worthless. Like, can I do anything right for my child? So, the day we had to buy her some formula, I was really, really sad. Like, I think that's really when I was just, I just felt really worthless. And I started thinking that I was not good enough to be her mom. I wasn't good enough to be a wife to my husband. I wasn't good enough to be JD's mom. JD is my 4-year-old. And just up and down, I had these emotions, and I never kind of could get really right about it. And so, here it is. And so, I just felt like a failure. And I started, I was feeding, which is really something, it's really destructive, but I was feeding this negative energy by, reading things, on social media about basically men that walk away from their families, and I just kind of was feeding this negative energy. I don't know why, because that's not really me. So that just made it worse. It just brought my mood down even more. And I remember I used to hold Hayden all day long. All day. She would sleep in my arms. I would put her in the carrier, even when she didn't need to. Because, sometimes babies, they will wake up as soon as you lay them down. Like, she can be like that now. And I think it's because I just used to hold her all day long. And sometimes I would sit and hold her and cry. And it was just me and her at the house at that point, because my husband had went back to work and Jay was in school. So I used to hold her like that, though, because I thought that, like, in my head, he was going to take her, because I wasn't an adequate mother. I couldn't do something as basic as nurse her. Like, why would he not take them? No, both of them, both the girls. And so it kind of all came down to this one day.